Less than a mile from where a Minneapolis police officer murdered George Floyd in 2020, a U.S. immigration agent on Wednesday shot and killed an unarmed 37-year-old woman in her car amid protests over Donald Trump's immigration dragnet. Is anything in that sentence news? It's not news that George Floyd is no longer alive. It's not news that that happened in 2020. It's news that this woman was simply unarmed and she was just in her car. Now, when did these protests begin in Minnesota? I mean, they weren't going on before. How did they get heightened? Why did they get heightened? Why did ICE go in there? Because there's up to $9 billion in fraud out of the state of Minnesota being stolen from taxpayers. A de-arrest, also known as unarrest, is the act of freeing someone who's been seized by law enforcement officers, LEOs. Often, it's police that repress protests and make arrests, but federal agents, not just police that repress protests and make arrests, but federal agents like BORTAC, who were deployed in 2020, have done riot control and also have arresting powers. A de-arrest can look like physically removing an arrestee from LEO's grips, opening the door of a car, or pressuring LEOs to release an arrestee. Being arrested can have drastic negative life-altering effects, especially for targeted populations like people who aren't white, Muslims, LGBT, so-called T and Q people, and certain radicals. It follows then that reversing an arrest can be well worth the risk of getting involved. There are many situations where a de-arrest is worth the risk, but please don't skip the consideration sections at the end. Could we stop the phrase de-arrest? What does this mean? It means aiding and abetting a felon, or aiding and abetting someone in the process of being arrested. It means disrupting police activities. It means going and obstructing justice. Remember that Black Lives Matter Incorporated went to the so-called Palestinian territory. And I know there's people, even people I love, who call it that. And they went there to train with Hamas, because Hamas is in the same struggle as Black Americans. Because as you know, Black Americans live here in an apartheid state. They don't have any control. We've never had a Black president. There are no Black office holders. Black people have no power in the United States. They're not allowed to work. They're not allowed to own homes. They're not allowed to vote, as you know. So they share this struggle.